forest is killing me. These pesky bar chords. Not really, I've been doing them for a while, but I do remember what it was like to struggle with bar chords. And I also see some of my new students recently struggling with bar chords for the first time, and yes, they are difficult to do. They definitely they require that additional wrist strength, so I do have a great level of empathy for anyone learning this stuff. But just because you can't play them doesn't mean you can't get musical with them. Just bear with me and check out this sequence. Alrighty, so what am I doing there? Well, in my mind, I'm able to visualize the bar chord and then pick out specific parts of that chord to play, which mean I don't even have to make a bar at all. So the 4 shapes I'm actually thinking of throughout that entire sequence are as follows. So we have a standard G major bar chord, played like this. Then the standard A minor bar chord, all with an E string root, by the way. Then a B minor bar chord, and then a C major bar chord. Okay. Now, let's return to that G major bar chord and see what I actually did with it. Well, I decided, okay, I'm going to play 3 of the strings, not all 6. I'm going to play the A, the D, and the G string, and I end up with this shape here. And that means I'm essentially got a G major bar chord without the actual bar, and that means my second finger's on fret 4 of the G, my pinky is on fret 5 of the D, and my third finger is on fret 5 of the A. And that's where I get my first few notes. And you can see how that slots into the G major bar chord shape with an E string root. So then the next shape I'm extracting from is this A minor shape here. And again, I'm going to play the same 3 strings. We want some sense of continuity. Playing the same 3 strings will help with that. So I'm going to look at my fingers. I release the bar from the A minor bar chord shape and put my first finger on fret 5 of the G, my pinky on fret 7 of the D, and my third finger on fret 7 of the A. Okay. And then I can take this shape and I can simply move this exact shape that I've got now up 1, 2 frets, and that automatically puts me inside the B minor bar chord. Okay, so that's a nice easy movement there. And then finally, to get inside the C major bar chord, I can take that shape up, but then I take off the first finger and put my second finger onto fret 9 of the G. So I should have fret 9 of the G, fret 10 of the D with the pinky, fret 10 of the A with the third finger. So, nice little musical sequence there. And these are what are known as chord fragments, okay? They're also major triads from like a theoretical perspective, but from an approach point of view or a concept point of view, we call them chord fragments because we're taking big chords and extracting smaller ones from the big chords. Okay, so why do we have to use the A, D, and G strings? Well, we don't. We can move this onto the D, G, and B strings, right? And if we do that inside our G major bar chord shape, what we end up with is the first finger on fret 3 of the B, the second on fret 4 of the G, and the third on fret 5 of the D. And then we move up into that A minor shape. So now we do have to do a bit of a bar, but we only have to bar across 2 strings, okay? And they're 2 of the lighter strings. So our first finger bars fret 5 on the B and G, and then our third finger is on fret 7 of the D. And then again, as before, we can take that same shape, because it's a minor shape, move it up 2 frets into the B minor shape. And then, similar to before, we can move up 1 more fret, but then we need to make the same shape as we did when we were doing the G major chord. So what we end up with there is the first finger on fret 8 of the B, the second finger on fret 9 of the G, and the third finger on fret 10 of the D string. Very nice. And then last of all, we might do it on the higher 3 strings. So we'll do it on the G, B and high E strings. So that means we're going to have to create a bar on fret 3 of the high E and the B. And then the second finger comes to the 4th fret of the G string. This one might be slightly more difficult if you're not used to it, okay? And then we move up into the A minor shape, okay? And we create a full 3-string bar across the G, B and high E strings. And if you're struggling with that, you can use the other finger, the second finger on top of the first to kind of help you out there. Then we move that shape up 1, 2, up to where the B minor bar chord shape is. And then we take the first shape that we had, and this time starting on the 8th fret. And then at the beginning, I do believe I finished on a G major triad, which was like this. This is basically your standard D major open chord, 5 frets higher. You get a G major triad to finish off. But you don't have to stop there either. What if you want to pair up 2 strings? For example, you want to pair the high E and the B string. So you've only got a 2-string bar. Okay, and then you might pair up the B and the G strings. Okay, or you might do a pair of strings, but you might actually want to skip over one. So you might do the 3rd fret of the high E, skip the B string, do the 4th fret of the G, and then do that as your pattern. Or the same on the B and the D strings. Some nice fifths there. You can see there's kind of no limit to this, right? When you start pairing different strings up. You might do a pair of 3 strings on the high E, the G and the A string. So you end up with this, which is pretty weird stuff. So hopefully this is kind of opening your mind as to what you can do with these bar chords, even if you can't play them. As long as you have some of the information mapped out in your brain, you should be able to tap into that and get musical and have some fun, and that is, of course, the whole point. So you can find the tabs and the guitar profiles for that over on my Patreon page. If you did enjoy this video and you want more content from me, please hit the subscribe button and, more crucially, that notification bell so you get notified of new videos. Check out the video that's on your screen now, and as usual, to all my usual subscribers, or my current subscribers, keep on strumming.